So you may be wondering why I'm dressed in this 1940s riding mistress style. Well, it's because I've just finished my new blog entry, which is on 1940s and 50s fashions from films. Now, I've done a good review of all these great racing themed films from that period, including those starring Betty Davis and Ava Gardner, so some really great fashions there. Also, I've just finished on the same theme, modelling for some new pin-up 1940s, 50s style fine art paintings by my partner David Dent, so I'll have to put those on my blog as well when they're finished. Moving on from that, obviously last year I won the Ladies' Day at Cheltenham Festival in a jacket vaguely similar to this one. So that brings me on to now giving you some tips for the festival. Now, I've got my trusty computer here, which has got all of my notes that I've been making over the past week on my selections for betting. So I'm just going to take you through some of them nice and slowly, because there's quite a lot to take in. So on the first day of the festival, which is the Tuesday, you've got the Arkle Chase. So obviously Alfarov beat the sprinter Sakra in last year's Supreme Novice Hurdle at Cheltenham. So he's likely to be longer odds than the Henderson Hot Pot, 5-1 as opposed to evens. Secondly, Billy McGurn ran well behind Giant Bolster at the festival trials and is also entered on the first day of the JLT handicap. He's 40-1, but could also face Giant Bolster again if he doesn't go in for the Gold Cup. It really depends where he's entered. I guess that's also the problem with anti-post bets, is you can put your money on Betfair or whatever, and you never quite know which race the horse is going to finally be running in if he's entered in a few. So moving on to the Champion Hurdle, also on a Tuesday. Well, in this race it looks like Hurricane Fly is what you call home and hosed at 4-6 on. But I'm looking to oppose him with a few smaller tentative bets. First off, Zarkandar. He was last year's Triumph Hurdle winner at 5-1. So I'm also going to put some small each-way bets on Rock and Ruby, who's 16-1, and 1,000 Stars, who's at the moment 28-1. And I backed him last year when he was 4th at 100-1, so hopefully he'll be this time lucky. So moving on to the cross country, I remember last year I was hoping Poker de Silva was going to come up trumps for me on this race, but it didn't quite happen. But I'm looking at maybe Scots Irish or Uncle Eli. Basically they're the favourites for this race after their good form over such obstacles this year. But also I like the look of Backstage, who's currently 12-1. And basically he's won his last 6 point-to-point, so good horse. Also Caldine, who's entered for the race at a big price of 25-1. You may remember a few years ago he was touted for the Gold Cup, so could be a good horse to put a few pounds on. But ultimately I think where I'm going to put my money, more of my money anyway, in this race is Nick Williams trained Maljamar, who's 14-1. I might have each way on that one. So now we move on to the second day, which is Wednesday, and also Ladies' Day. And if you haven't had a look at the Cheltenham site, Ladies' Day always has some great prizes. So what are you waiting for? Try and find that hat. Basically, if you've been following my blogs, that I love all the Savola horses. And Savola de Savola is entered for the Neptune Investment Novices Hurdle. He's 50-1 for that. Basically, last meeting at Cheltenham, he finished 4th in the festival trials, but he was finishing really quickly, so I think he likes a bit of a longer distance. Looks good to me. The only problem again is he's also entered in 4 other races, so may run in one of those instead. So as I say again, that's the problem with anti-post betting, but sometimes you've got to take the risk. but he's definitely one to watch out for. He's much shorter prices than some of the other races, so that's sometimes a likely indicator that where he's going to be placed, but it's not always the case, and you can get some good long prices. So moving on to the RSA chase, if I study my notes here, it's likely to be contested by Grand Cru. He's basically the 2-to-1 favourite. I do like the way that Join Together ran at Cheltenham, winning twice this season, and he's currently 10-to-1, which I think is quite a good price. Just interesting to notice that he runs in the same colours as Denman, so maybe he could be the new Denman, who knows. Moving on to the Queen Mother chase, and they have a tentative each way on Govain, who's 40-to-1, but that's if he runs. But it looks to be the race to beat between Sizing Europe, Big Zeb and Finian's Rainbow. But also Cato Stone could be another tentative bet at the price of 40-to-1, so some quite good odds on that. Moving on to the Coral Cup. Again, Savola de Savola's also entered in that, but I think failed. If could be an interesting each way at 25-to-1. He recently won at Royal Ascot. And as it's Ladies' Day, I like the name, so I think I'll be wearing my veiled hat.